In his book, Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Friedrich Nietzsche writes, "Of all that is written, I love only what a person has written with his blood. Write with blood, and you will find that blood is spirit. He that writes in blood does not want to be read, but learnt by heart." I find that very beautiful. I write in blood. I write with blood. I know what he means. The problem these days is I'm not sure that there's many people left out there that still read. That's pretty disappointing for a writer. At best, people seem to be able to make it through a couple of sentences before they get distracted and move on to the next thing. That's a daunting task for any writer. I was examining the topic of mental health the other day. And I looked at the crazy adventure and journey of my life. The insane journey of my life. That is spanned over 55 years. And I condensed all of the valuable nuggets that I have squeezed from life and learnt the hard way. And I condensed them into 3.5 pages of a short story I wrote on mental health. Welcome to Tuck Talk number 21. The Secrets of Mental Health and Happiness. I'm going to read you my story, just in case you don't like reading anymore. I grew up in a dysfunctional family plagued with alcoholism, violence, sexual dysfunction, and every form of emotional, mental, and physical abandonment one can imagine. Consequently, I became dysfunctional too. I went through adolescence a very angry person, drank alcohol to excess, overused every recreational drug I could acquire, exercised extreme violence on a regular basis, and destroyed every significant relationship I ever entered into. I spent 2 years in foreign prisons for smuggling hash, and later became addicted to cocaine and destroyed my life yet again. And just to make sure, I never forgot what a horrible person I had become. Almost every person I have ever truly loved has abandoned me as their friend, lover, or family member along the way. Who could blame them? I think it's safe to say that my mental health was probably substandard when all of these events happened. Great resume, don't you think? Today I work at a full-time job, struggle to pay the bills, but live in paradise on the outskirts of a provincial park overlooking the Pacific Ocean on Vancouver Island. I share this property with a group of down-to-earth people who are creative, genuine, positive, and my friends. I enjoy optimal mental health, and I'm happier than I've ever been in my life. How did this miracle of transformation happen, you might be wondering? Well, first of all, because this miracle happened to me, I feel I am qualified and perhaps even obligated to try and provide an answer to that question. A place like Facebook is full of requests to post this meme and that meme in support of mental health and lots of other noble causes, but that's really not my style. I'm more of a tell it like it is kind of guy. So here it is. Some people simply love hot sauce and they pour it onto every food they can. The net result of this is that they never experience the actual flavor of what they eat because all their meals taste like hot sauce. Most people harbor prevailing views and belief systems that do the same thing to their experience of life as the hot sauce does to food. These worldviews can appear either positive or negative, but in the final analysis, they still camouflage what is real. Examples of worldviews include: the world is hostile, the world is friendly. The truth will set you free. If I'm honest, people will use the information against me. I must walk my own path. I must follow the crowd. I must obey. I must be disobedient. People are loving. People are hateful. The world is ugly. The world is beautiful, etc. The road to mental health begins with becoming aware of all of these biases within oneself and realizing that they are interfering with your ability to experience reality. This is imperative because your degree of sanity and mental health is directly proportional to your ability to perceive and accept what is real. To accomplish this, you must first be able to experience the real. To experience what is real, you must learn to recognize and then suspend the influence of your preconceived biases about, well, just about everything. This includes learning how to, at least temporarily, suspend your judgment about these experiences too. This is how you access the real. If one encounters a pile of shit, there is no long-term advantage in pretending that it smells like roses. A person who desires optimal mental health must become willing to acknowledge that shit smells like shit and roses smell like roses. Each individual is solely responsible for the state of their own mental health. One can nurture this responsibility only after first accepting 100% responsibility for their own thoughts, feelings, and actions, while simultaneously accepting that they are not responsible for any other person's thoughts, feelings, and actions. This is a tough job for most people, but it can and must be mastered if you ever hope to realize the joy of optimal mental health. So, we have accepted 100% responsibility for our thoughts, feelings, and actions. And we have suspended all of our preconceptions about the world, ourselves, and everything in it. These acts transform the turbulent ocean of the mind into a sea of tranquility that is now capable of performing as it was designed to do. This is essential because we experience the world through our 5 senses in the mind, and therefore need them to function properly. Having stilled the mind in this manner, we are finally paying attention and aware of what is going on in the now. This is a magical state because the only place in time and space where we are capable of exerting an influence of any kind is right here, right now. All opportunity, possibility, and change can only occur in the now. Remember this. What you think you are is fundamentally paramount to your mental health. This process is known as identification. If you think you are a mother and a wife because you have a husband and children, your identification is incomplete and will eventually cause you untold pain and suffering. If you think you are a successful billionaire because you own several big corporations and all the toys money can buy, you will also eventually reach a fork in the road where your self-identification proves false, and as a result, you will suffer greatly. What are you talking about, Tucker? I know this isn't easy to grasp. They neglected to teach us this stuff at home, in school, and at church. Stay with me, and I'll try to put it into English for us. What you possess cannot be who you are. I have a pair of shoes, but I am not a pair of shoes. I have a job, but I am not my job. I have a family, but I am not my family. I have a body, but I am not my body. I have thoughts, but I am not my thoughts. I have emotions, but I am not my emotions. I have memories, but I am not my memories. All of these items are things we possess, not what we are. Well then, what in the hell are we? We are the awareness behind all of these possessions. We are the observer, the witness, a type of energy I call consciousness. This energy is boundless, eternal, timeless, and without fault or flaw. It is nothing, and from it all things come. It is nowhere, and it is everywhere. It exists without division or contradiction because all things are comprised of it and come from it. It is indivisible. It is one. It is who and what we are. You're at work and a courier delivers an envelope to your desk. It's a letter from your husband telling you he has fallen in love with a younger woman and has moved to Australia to be with her. He also informs you that he has taken all the money from your joint bank accounts, the stock certificates and jewelry from your safe deposit boxes, and the wallet holding your cryptocurrency portfolio. But don't worry, he says. You can have the rental home to yourself. Oh, and I left you the cat. The desk phone rings, and when you answer, a policeman tells you that the plane bringing your parents and children home from vacation in Belize has crashed in the Gulf of Mexico, and there were no survivors. You hang up in shock, only to have your boss walk over to your desk and announce that, due to company downsizing, your position has regretfully been terminated. You drive home, and when you arrive with the shoebox of personal belongings off your old desk, you are horrified to discover that the neighbor has run over your beloved cat in front of the house. You burst into tears, retrieve Fluffy, and carry her flattened remains in the shoebox full of useless garbage into your too empty house. How's your mental health doing now? Life is tough. No matter how much you think you have things figured out and how together you think you are, there will come a time when everything you think you know about yourself and this world will explode in a blaze of incomprehensible pain and anguish. I'm not wishing this on any of you. I've just been around long enough to know that this happens. When it does happen, I want you to remember who you really are, remain capable of maintaining your mental health, and I want you to be okay. When the shit hits the fan in your life, you must find a quiet place, still your mind, still your emotions, and ask yourself this one question. What do I need to do in this situation to take care of myself? In fact, developing optimum mental health should involve asking this question on an almost daily basis as a way of making healthy decisions and determining a proper course of action in all situations. Once you arrive at this answer, follow through and take the necessary action that will result in you actually taking care of yourself, in lieu of just thinking about taking care of yourself. It's as simple as that. As you begin recovering from whatever trauma has disrupted your peace of mind and threatened your mental health, remember that what you focus on creates more of itself. Therefore, it is of paramount importance to focus on healthy things. Suspend your usage of the words right and wrong and replace them with the words healthy and unhealthy. You will be amazed how quickly this improves your ability to think clearly and act in a significant manner. Next, You must always remember that anything taken to the extreme becomes its own opposite. The message here is that balance is a vital component in all undertakings and life programs if they are to provide you with the benefit of mental health on a long-term basis. And finally, I want to suggest to you that this consciousness that you are is not constructed from atoms and molecules, but rather from love itself. It is the glue that holds the entire universe together, and it is the hammer that destroys all of the divisive and illusionary elements that seem to separate us and create animosity between ourselves and other living things. Make it a lifelong project to study yourself as consciousness. Remember that we are all in this thing called life together. We are all consciousness, and we are all love. Be patient and know that life is a process, not an event. Learn how timing is more important than time. Make all of your important decisions from a place of stillness, not from a state of desperation. Understand that your emotions are a result of your thoughts and actions, and that reversing this natural sequence often creates negative outcomes. Know that everything is in a perpetual state of motion, but learn to take refuge and find peace on the opposite side of that coin, which is the stillness within each of us. Once you have found your way to this stillness, visit that place often. Always remember that every second in the now is a unique and magical opportunity to play in the field of all potential outcomes. Only here do you have the power to change yourself and the world around you. When you recognize this truth and act accordingly, you trigger the evolutionary prerogative you have to strive towards maximizing your full human potential. You will be called upon daily to go out and act in this world. I know it often seems crazy, insane, and intimidating out there. Be brave. Learn what it means to be in the now and act in the now. Do so confidently and from a platform of self-awareness, intelligence, compassion, and love. And I promise that you will experience optimal mental health and that this world will become a better, healthier place for all of us. I'll meet you there.